Hi guys, so we're coming back in at the end of the first article, Article A. We didn't quite make it to the end yesterday. Now, if you remember, we're looking to secure those skills of analysis and to reinforce looking at two articles you've never seen before. But we're using the topics of the articles to create that bridge from social diversity to gender, and we will see natural overlaps across these topics, okay? So we've got to the end part of the article and I'd read it to you, but we didn't get a chance to do the activities. So we're going to use these activities as our starter. So in a minute, you're going to pause and answer these questions for me. What does the verb placate mean? What does it suggest? Oh, what does the verb placate mean? What does it suggest about why women are speaking using this type of speech? So once you've worked out what the verb placate means, put it into context. What's it suggesting about the way women are using speech? What is the final truth that is offered? And is the metaphor presenting a woman's use of language as positive or negative? So you've got to find some linguistic features and think about what they mean and their implication. We will check in together in a minute on our answers. Okay, we want to be able to think about what new opinion and point of view is being introduced as well in this paragraph. Who is speaking? What have they heard or experienced? A third opinion is then offered. Whose is it? What is their opinion? Out of the two opinions, who do you trust more and why? So guys, just as our starter, press pause. All the answers are on this page, except if you need to look up the word placate in the dictionary. And we'll have a discussion of those answers together in a minute. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, we are up here. So a new opinion and point of view is introduced. So I hear women do it on the street when they're talking to a man they want to quickly placate, wrote Huffington Post blogger Kate Fridkiss. Now, Huffington Post, okay, is an online journalist kind of publication. It's American. You might have seen lots of kind of like they call them sometimes clickbait articles or opinion-led articles coming up on things like Facebook, your social media kind of platforms. Huffington Post is a big contributor of online content. So we've got this new opinion being introduced. Okay, so we started off with the opinion of Lake Bell, the actress. Now we've got the opinion of a Huffington Post blogger, Kate Fridkiss. Now, if you remember, we said yesterday that the byline of this article, Daily Mail reporter, is indicative of a context, a new journalistic context that exists, where reporters will just bring together opinions of lots of different other journalists that have appeared in other newspapers or other publications and kind of just present them in a new article form. So this is kind of what the Daily Mail is doing for this opinion piece. It's like cheap journalism, really. You're able to cite the ideas of other people, put them together to create an article of your own. So we've got Kate Fridkiss, the Huffington Post blogger. Okay. And what have they heard or experienced? So I hear women do it on the street when they are talking to a man they want to quickly placate. So they've heard women doing it. Okay, what is the it? Strange little word when we take it out of context, but actually it's that cohesive element. It's the pronoun that's referring back to this idea of vocal fry, this way in which women speak. And they're saying here that this is being used to placate men. Okay, we'll look at the verb placate in a minute. So women are using vocal fry when they're trying to placate men. Now, guys, I'm not a trained professional, but I hear women do it on the street. That suggests Huffington Post blogger Kate Fridkiss is really conducting like grand research into this. It's something that she's experienced in day-to-day life. She's heard it on the street. Problem when you hear things on the street, guys? Context. How do you know what they're really using it for? You are making quite a loaded opinion. Okay, so then a third opinion is offered. Okay, Carmen Fort, a professor of linguistics at Pitzer College in Claremont, California. Whoa, okay, so that's quite a long kind of list of credentials. Look at that expanded noun phrase. Professor, linguistics, Pitzer College, Claremont, California. So this is quite a long explanation, a long kind of discussion about this person's context, who they are, and what their opinion is. So what do they say? Okay, they told the New York Times, so again, a much more credible publication, if, and there's the big conditional, if women do something like uptalk or vocal fry. So there you go. There's the association of gender with a particular type of language. Okay, so gender is determining a person's use of language here. If gender is determining the use of language. If women are using uptalk or vocal fry, it's immediately interpreted as insecure, emotional, or stupid. The truth is this. So actually, this opinion is countering other opinions about the use of vocal fry. Okay, so we've got the final opinion now. Out of the two then, Carmen Ford versus Kate Fridkiss. So whose opinion would you trust more and why? So what would your reasons be? Okay, brilliant. So hopefully we've all picked up on that Carmen Ford is the professor, a specialist, a linguistic professor. So therefore her opinion has a bit more credibility, a bit more weight. Now the Huffington Post blogger, Kate Fridkiss, her opinion is more based on experience, observation. I hear women do it. I heard one of my college roommates do it. So that repetition of the verb here suggests it's like third party. So actually, we've got lots of reasons why we potentially can trust Carmen Ford's opinion more. Therefore, it's more important to unpack what her opinion is. So when we looked at Fridkiss's opinion, I was getting you to zoom in on this verb, placate. So what does it mean if you placate somebody? So it's a really good verb, okay? It's used in conjunction there with the adverb, quickly. So when we placate somebody, say that quickly, when you placate somebody, you're looking to make them less angry and hostile. So in other words, this is implication that a woman is using language to placate a man. So in other words, they're using language to diffuse a man's anger, to talk a man down, to make a man seem less stressed, okay, and more calm. So it's this idea that women are using the way they talk to have an impact on men. Okay, and that's what it's suggesting then. So that these women are trying to get men to do what they want. In the first instance, it's trying to talk them down. In the second instant, I heard one of my college roommates use it. So that it, again, this vocal fry, every night on the phone with her boyfriend. Girls and women slip into it so naturally and then out of it again on a daily basis. So it's this idea that women, okay, there's the gender part. Gender determines a person's use of language. Women are determining their use of vocal fry in order to have an impact on the men around them, to placate the men, to make them less angry. Or what could be the implication when you're talking to your boyfriend? Maybe to get them on side, to make them feel loved or wanted. Okay, so that's the first opinion. Now, we've already been set up by looking at the introduction to the two opinions to say, okay, well, that's the opinion, but that was based on what we call hearsay. That's based on an interpretation. It's not really factual. It's not research driven. Then we've got Carmen Ford. Okay, so what's the final truth that Carmen, I don't know what I'm doing today, guys. Sorry to keep flicking through, is offering. Okay, and is the metaphor presenting a woman's use of language as positive or negative? So Carmen Ford says, if, so that lovely conditional structure, so we know we're looking at a complex idea now. If women do something like uptalk or vocal fry, it's immediately interpreted as insecure, emotional, or even stupid. Now, interpreted here, this verb choice, it means other people are making a judgment that isn't necessarily true. So I'm speaking here and you might be interpreting that I'm really knowledgeable and informed on the subject of gender and linguistic use. You might be interpreting my behaviour that I've made a few slips, that maybe I'm distracted. Actually, my cats are trying to steal chicken off the side as we speak, so I'm distracted. So sometimes we can interpret somebody's speech and not necessarily come to the right conclusion. So what she's implying here is that women are using this device, vocal fry, and people are interpreting that as a sign of being insecure, emotional, stupid. So we've got this list of three really negative adjectives: insecure, emotional, and stupid. But then she does this lovely kind of counterpoint. The truth is this. So you've got this lovely declarative clause introducing a truth. The truth is this. There's no room for argument or debate here. Women, young women, take linguistic features and use them as power tools for building relationship. Now, is that metaphor of a power tool something positive or negative? What do you reckon? Is it positive to describe women as using language as a power tool? Good, it is. Okay, it's an image of empowerment and an image of women. Couple it with that verb take, showing ownership of their language, a woman demonstrating choice. In other words, the truth is this, the professor's saying, women are choosing vocal fry as a way to build relationships. So they are in control of the language. They are choosing this language feature. They are choosing these mannerisms in order to build relationships. Now, we had, although we've not revised them yet, we will do, just begun to look at this idea of women's language, this idea that there's the deficit model, that women's language lacks something, and that there's a difference model, that women just use language differently. Now, one of the common held beliefs under that umbrella of difference is that women utilize language to build relationships, that women are really skilled at using language to build and strengthen relationships. Now, this opinion of Carmen 4, offered here at the end of the article, so it's the key idea we're focused on, is suggesting that women are using language, they're in control, they're taking ownership of language, and they're using it to build relationships. Now, Power Tour is this idea as well of women are choosing the best version of language at a given moment to do the job. You know, it's a tool, that this use of vocal fry is a tool that enables women to get what they want, okay, to be empowered. So it actually ends on a positive interpretation of vocal fry that's set against, that's juxtaposed to these other earlier negative interpretations of vocal fry. So it's challenging the idea that vocal fry is about insecurity, stupidity, immaturity, women sounding like young girls, and instead it offers a counter argument that it's about control. So that's Article 1. So as we start to look at Article 2 today, we're going to go through this process again quite quickly, or building up that speed. Let's see. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to pause and answer as many of these questions as possible. We are looking at a change in publication. So which publication are we looking at now? How do we know that we are online? What graphological features in terms of color, style and design, and byline are you drawn to? Could you identify and maybe interpret? Can you tell me the sentence function and type of the headline? Okay, which adjective is showing an emotional perspective in this the stand first? Which adjective in the stand first represents the speech pattern is negative? Which pronoun is creating synthetic personalization? Now that's a term I'm prompting memory to see if you can remember from GCSE. In other words, a relationship, a fake relationship between the reader, the audience, and the writer. So which pronoun is creating that sense of relationship? Now, this is new for us because we're speeding up this process, but also entering the screen now. Is can you list one or two ways that this article opening is similar to the female article? Can you find two differences? Okay, now that they could be at any of these levels. They could be at the level of language, at the level of graphological features, but can you give me two similarities and two differences? So you're going to pause now. Okay, you're going to look at this page and you're going to complete these tasks. Okay, and then we're going to go through the answers together. So just to make it really clear, we are in The Guardian. We've got the headline, Young Women Give Up the Vocal Fry and Reclaim Your Strong Female Voice. Now I'll stand first. What's heartbreaking about the trend for destructive speech patterns is that yours is the most transformational generation. You're disowning your power. Okay, guys, so we're going to just let you pause and go through those tasks together. Go through those tasks by yourself, and then we're going to go to the answers together.